Right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, back in the saddle. Good morning. Tuesday. How does mine say October 6th? It's supposed to be October 7th, right? Maybe I'm a day behind. Watch hasn't caught back up from the trip yet, I guess. Been a long time since I had to pull the knob out and reset a watch. So good stuff. Guys, how you doing this morning? Whew. Yeah, we're back. It was over a week ago we did our last live from this spot. And yeah, man, what a run. We went on a feels like about a 10-15 day run out to Houston. Got the Mach 5 event complete. Got me a new hanger for my new badge for my bookshelf collectibles. Put that up there. It's getting full. Whew. Yeah, I understand the daily sales accelerator went well yesterday. We were traveling, and I've got a half a dozen calls lined up today with new clients, which is great. So, yeah. Good morning, Dave Howard. Good to see you coming in at a 9.5. Love to see it. Yeah, back in the saddle in what I call Studio B today. Okay, I have multiples. We have fun. So, yeah, got set back up. Got back. What time we get back? Geez, by the time we grabbed the dogs and everything, it was about 5 o'clock when we got back last night. So it was a full day. Travel just takes it out of you, doesn't it? It just, I don't care. Of course, we get up at 3 a.m., but something like that. When you got to get up at 3, you don't sleep well. So, yeah. All right. Biani. Got the name right. Got the name right. Good morning. It's good to meet you and get a chance to know you a little bit. Hung out with Tony. I was going to say Big Tony, but he's smaller Tony now. He's lost a bunch of weight. Good morning, Wendy. How are you today? Yeah, I'll just say it's a little quiet around here this morning. Yeah, coffee's going down good. 76 on the sleep score. Not too shabby for the first night back. We'll take it. Good morning, Catherine Thomas. What's going on? Had a chance to spend some time with your good friend Jason Rector. Oh no, Jubal Williamson is here. Look out. We had some fun. We had a good time. We were at the I don't know what you call it, Papa's on the lake, right? And it was getting later in the evening. Everybody had a good time, and I looked over, and Jubal was wet right up to the knees with his jeans and everything. So what'd you do? He said, I went in the pool. Oh man, I guess it's a wading pool. So yeah. Yeah, Dave, we haven't heard Wendy's watching in a while, huh? Yeah, we going hard in the paint out there in Texas. And so out there I had to do 7 a.m. So which is our 8 a.m. So I was just kind of like, I would just kind of sneak out and do it and let her catch a few more winks because man, did we work her over setting up and taking down and doing all the registration, helping out with everything on the event. So I just figured, you know what, if she'd get a few extra winks, that'd be a good thing. 96 on the sleep score, babe. Great. I know if I get a 76, she's at least in the 90s. So yeah, good stuff. Danielle, how are you? Danielle came out to the event, got to meet people. It was good. I love it when somebody that's not a contractor jumps in because really the stuff that we're doing, guys, applies to any business. You don't have to be a contractor. And it's also good to have more women involved too, because they keep the testosterone at bay, in these groups and all that stuff. So it's good. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome, you guys that haven't been here before. I'm glad you're here. I do this every day at 8 a.m. Eastern. Sometimes it's in the airport, like yesterday. Sometimes it's from an undisclosed location, wherever. But we get it done because I committed to doing it. I don't know. Today's day 285, which means it's the 280th day of the year because I believe I started 5 days early. So, man, we're getting there. We're into the fourth quarter. So, home for a couple of weeks and then going to the Hardscape North America show, convention, conference, whatever. down in Louisville with Bubba and Steve, and we're putting up a booth and selling our pots and pans and seeing what we can do. So anyway, switching up the focus today. Okay, we've been talking about legacy for the last 10 days. I do 10-day focuses on things, 10-day series, whatever you want to call it. We're switching over to kind of deliver 10 mental models to you guys that can change the way you lead and sell. Don't have to be a salesperson. Okay, these things apply to everyday life. Okay, so the first one, day one, we're going to talk about the growth lens, seeing things through the growth lens. Okay, two people can look at the exact same situation, right? You ever tell somebody something that and you think it's great, and they're like, oh, well, they take a big dump on it, and you're like, what the hell was that? Jason Rector, good morning, good to see you, buddy. So two people can look at the same exact situation. One sees a setback, and the other sees an opportunity, right? The difference isn't the situation. The situation's the same. It's the lens that each person is looking through, right? Your lens determines your leadership, frankly. Okay. Before you can grow your business or your team, you have to grow the way you see it. Okay. So with me personally, at times where either as a contractor or a coach, when I stopped seeing problems as proof that I was failing, oh, there it goes again. I'm just never going to make it at that, right? I started seeing them as opportunities to grow. Everything changed, right? Speaking of positive people, there's Josh Baker. Good to see you, buddy. I miss you. We got to chat. I'm not going away. I'll find you. Where's my coffee? Yeah, well, the Ironman stuff too. Like, I'd be out there on the race course, it'd be pouring down rain. I'm like, oh, woe is me. Must just be raining on me today. No, I would say, hey, everybody's got to deal with it. It's raining on everybody. Okay. The course didn't change. My mindset did. Okay. So, got to have a good mindset, right? Because the lens creates the reality. What you focus on expands. Simple as that, right? Leaders who see obstacles as opportunities train their teams to do the same. Okay. That stuff transcends, guys. All right. For example, is this happening to me or for me? Hello, Jess Novak. Good to see you. Had a great time chatting with Jess out there, and Wendy got to chat with her as well. So, we were coming back and we were just talking. We were like, man, it was good. It's just good to see people and connect and interact on something other than the screen, right? Yeah, Dave, some of those training runs in the rain, baby. I love those. I'll be out there all the time. Might be raining on race day. Might be raining on. I would love rain on race day because it kind of weeded out the wimps. That's the way I looked at it. So let's talk about fixed lens versus growth lens. Fixed lens example. This is hard. I can't do this, right? Right. Growth lens. This is hard. I can learn. Okay. Your results always match the lens you're looking through. Good morning, Genevieve. How are you? How many Ironmans have you run? I've attempted 8. I've run, I've attempted 7, run 6. So there was one there in 2008 where I just woke up and I was completely sick, either with food poisoning or the flu or something. And I actually started the race with a temp of like 102, and I wouldn't recommend that. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, 6. So, and a bunch of, I don't know how many half Ironmans, but I have to count sometime. But a whole bunch. There's about a 15-year stretch where I did about everything I could get my hands on. So, but yeah, 6. And they all went, I was very fortunate. They all went extremely well, except for that fateful day in 2008. Hey, but while we're looking at growth lens, you know what I did on that day? I went back, got right at the hotel, and around 4:00 in the afternoon, came down and cheered on my friends and was at the finish line. So, yeah, good morning, Tony Ruffin. Got to come up with a Tony Ruffin like thing. Like when we say Tony Ruffin, who was it? Luke Cornett on the Celtics. He would go, roof, roof, roof. No, probably not, huh, Tony? Shut up, Bob. Yeah. So, guys, you don't control the circumstance. You control the focus, right? It's how we're looking at it. Markets change. People quit. They come and go. Life hits hard, right? You can't choose the challenge, okay? But you can choose the lens you see it through. Speaking of lenses, my eyes are watering again. Must be something in this house. And leadership begins, guys, with how you see others, All right. If you only see your team's flaws, you're going to lead with frustration every single time, right? If you see their potential, you'll lead with belief. They'll rise to it. Okay, so build these guys up. All right. I mean, like I said, what you focus on expands. Okay. Dave Howard, I've missed a couple, but sometimes I'm in the same room when we travel too. I'm always watching or listening. Yeah. Yeah. Take that, Dave. I know it might have seemed like I was sleeping, but I was right there. The Koi Pond Incorporated. Who is that? I see that on YouTube. Give me a name. I probably know who that is. Um, good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Here's a couple of questions because I got to ask. Where in your life do you need to shift the lens? Right. It's what it's all about, guys. Kind of trying to create change. Right. Build people up, make you look at things a little bit differently. Where in your life right now do you need to shift that lens? What have you been looking at in the same way? Or maybe it's woe is me, or this guy pisses me off, or I don't like how that goes. Would your results change if you started asking, what can I learn from this? Retirement. Yeah. There you go. Would your results change if you started looking at it a little differently? What can I learn from this instead of why is this happening to me? Here's one. If your team or family looked through your lens, would they see possibility or problems? They see possibility or problems? That's a cool one. I like it. So Mach 5 was awesome. It was so fun to meet you. Yeah, it was good stuff. Yeah, Mach 5 was great, wasn't it? We've just been we were wrecked the next day and the day after. So we've just been staggering around. As my friend Stacy will check in on us once in a while. She's like, "How you doing?" She'll say, "Big energy out lately," and she knows like when I'm just pouring out, pouring out, and pouring out. There's got to be a time where you just kind of sit back and recharge a little bit. So Wendy, get your shit on. We're going for a walk. uh, all right, guys. Today, find something that frustrates you. Okay. And I've got plenty, and I'm sure on our walk, Wendy will remind me of some things that I need to just let them on, right? Like Mel Robbins says, just let them. Let them. Yeah. Okay. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Good morning, Luke McGee. Zach Clark is here. Good to see you guys. Boy, I seen a different Wendy. Yep. So consciously change the lens today, guys, on something that frustrates you. Ask yourself, what's the opportunity here? Okay. Um, remember, you don't see the world as it is, you see it as you are. Whoa. Mind blown, right? Yeah, it's all about perspective. Create your own reality. Bill Gustafson, good to see you. Yeah, lots of people jumping on this morning. Good to see you guys. Yeah, so pop a fist pump in the chat if that helped you. If you're going to kind of shift your lens today a little bit, I would just ask you to kind of bring yourself up short and go, hey, hang on a minute. Remember what we were talking about on the live this morning? Maybe I can look at that a little bit different way. Maybe not react the same old way that I always do to everything. That's all. Just try to pivot a little bit today, guys. Pop in the chat if it helped you, and let me know tomorrow. Hey, that warm and fuzzy stuff you were talking about yesterday, yeah, it helped me. Yeah, so tomorrow, day 2, we're going to talk about opportunity cost. We're going to talk about how every yes you say comes with a hidden no. All right. How the best leaders make decisions through that lens. Okay. So I'm going to work on some stuff this week, guys. You can apply it to your sales stuff too. Okay. Your sales, your leadership, business, your personal relationships. I try to kind of, what am I doing with that? I try to kind of, I don't know. Wendy was saying yesterday, I say, a lot, you know what I mean? I said, no, I don't, and then 2 minutes later, I did it again, so I guess I do. So I have to clean that up. My standard is that I go to bar 5 times a week, by the way. Yeah. So I asked people in my talk, my presentation at Mach 5, that's what Danielle is referring to. You guys that weren't there, I don't believe it's recorded. So, um, but I'll give you the brief version. Was that I wanted everybody to realize and understand and know that they deserve a seat at the table, at any table, and I challenged them to identify the next table that they need to sit at, and where they're hesitating to pull out the chair and sit down, either figuratively or literally, like step in. And I told some stories about that. And the next thing was we talked about finding your edge, and your edge, as I define it, is where you go when the shit hits the fan. All right, how you show up differently than others, and what you bring to the table that others don't. Okay. And it might be that you go to bar 5 times a week. It might be that you're a tremendous listener. It might be that you look through the growth lens. But your edge is what you do that others don't. Where you find it's your uniqueness. And I shared a quote. I don't know who said it, and Bubba will claim it. Is that find your uniqueness and exploit it in the service of others. And if you do that, you'll never go wrong. So I talked about the seat, okay? Finding the seat you want to sit down at the table, okay? Then we talked about the edge, and then we talked about standard, okay? And that a goal is something that we try to do. A standard is who we are, who we try to be. A standard is going to bar 5 times a week. That's the standard. I just know Danielle's at bar 5 times a week. That's what I know. When I go down to Houston, I know Steve goes to the gym at 3:45 a.m. That's his standard. That's what they do. Standard here is I go live every day. It's not. I think in the talk I said, I didn't just like set a goal like I'm going to try to go live every day and see what happens. I'm going to try to create a streak. No, standard, go live every day. So I asked people to identify their seat, and I kind of moved to the left on the stage. Then I came to the middle, find their edge, tap my chest a little bit, and then I put my hands like this and kind of raised one hand. I said, and raise your standard. And I asked, what standard could you raise today? Where can you raise the bar? Where are you looking at something that you're hesitating to go deep, right? Out of fear, right? We don't sit down at the table because we fear, geez, what people might think. I'm not on these guys' level. The story I told in my talk was that I was at a kind of a boot camp high level thing there a couple of years ago, and kind of walking through the banquet center of the calf, whatever. We're in what do they call it? Convention center. With your plate of food, like you're at the buffet and you're getting your stuff, and you're like, where am I going to sit? I don't know any of these people, right? So then you're walking through, you're like, and everybody's like either looking at you like, hey, come sit with us, or just kind of like, oh, that guy looks like a stiff. I don't know. Let's sit with us, right? So I find this table, I sit down with these 4 or 5 guys, and I just kind of sat and started listening. And one guy said to the other, hey, Jim, you go to the gym today? He goes, no, he said, I just worked out in my suite. I got a gym right in my suite. Neat. And then another guy, Chris, said to, I think it was Brian. He said, hey, what did you get in? He said, no, yesterday, 2:00. He said, yeah, I just get in last night. He said, how come? He says, I couldn't get a flight. He said, you should have jumped in with me. I had an extra seat in my plane. And I kind of quickly realized that, holy crap, these guys are doing some things. And eventually the conversation shifted around to me. And then in the talk, I just kind of told the story about how that felt and how they were asking me how they could help me. And incidentally, all these guys are still in my life. We've been on, gone to different masterminds together. They've been on my podcast. I've been on their podcast. One inspired me to write a book, and I've done that. So it wouldn't have happened if I didn't pull out the seat and sit down at the table. Okay, so that was the story about that. And so seat, edge, standard. And I just kept going seat, edge, standard. So Danielle, thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. And we'll talk more about that. And I've got that built into this 10 days. I'm going to share some of those stories that I told in Texas last week. So anyway, good to be home. Constantly and never-ending improvements. Yeah, thanks, Josh. I appreciate it. Guys, I hope you kick off the day in good fashion today. Tackle some things you need to tackle. Do the adulting that we all hate. Do the things you need to do. But check the lens, okay? Clean the lens if you need to, right? See who you're looking at. See how you're looking at things. Okay. Make it a growth lens. Okay. And pay attention to something, how you look at something. The very same thing somebody might be looking at as negative. You can look at it as positive. Say, hey, man, how can we make this a growth moment? How can we make this a teaching moment? And look for those opportunities where you can control your own environment and you can create your own reality. Okay. So, guys, happy Tuesday, day 285. I'll be right back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. We're going to be kicking ass and taking names all week. It's a busy week. It's a short week. We're just back into it today. So appreciate your patience, as I've had a few things where we've kind of had different times, but we should be smooth sailing here for the foreseeable future. Anyway, time for more coffee. Wendy says Bob's talk was emotional, high energy, and super impactful. Yeah, thanks, babe. I appreciate it. So, all right, guys, have a great day. If you need me, hop on, shoot me a DM. Always happy to give you some time if you're maybe thinking about grabbing some coaching or just want to talk more about it. If you want to talk about our daily sales accelerator that we do within the Rosenberg group, I would like to talk with you about that. We'll get you in. I'll give you a discount code so you can check it out. And yeah, get in the mix. All right, guys, I'm gone. See you later. Have a great day.